What's going on, guys? It's Greg here, aka NYPrepper. It is Tuesday, September 23rd, 2025, and I have an emergency alert to share with you guys. Right now it is 16:22 Eastern Time here in the United States, and we have some major breaking news coming in from here in the US. But before I get into the major breaking news, I wanted to let you guys know that I'm starting to post on Twitter more often, or X, and you can find my X account by typing in at NYPrepper1. That is my Twitter account, at NYPrepper1. I post updates there throughout the day. I'm trying to build it up as a backup to YouTube in case something happens with YouTube. Also, I wanted to mention a new partner, which is Alpha Omega Gold Group. Check out ao.gold/NYP. The link is in the description down below, but this is a Christian gold and silver company, and they have a free precious metals guide. If you go to ao.gold/NYP, that's the Alpha Omega Gold Group, and you can get a free precious metals guide, and the link is in the description below this video. So last night we had multiple U.S. Army priority air transport Blackhawks fly to a doomsday bunker right outside of Washington, D.C., which is Mount Weather. Okay, Mount Weather is located near Berryville, Virginia. It's a massive underground bunker just about an hour west of Washington, D.C. I've actually been there several times, and these Black Hawk helicopters flew from Fort Belvoir, which is a very important base that has the National Geospatial Intelligence Headquarters, the Army Intelligence Command, and the Cyber Command, as well as the Missile Defense Agency is located there. So some very important agencies at Fort Belvoir, and we had 3 Blackhawks of the Army Priority Air Transport fly to Mount Weather. So most likely some very important persons were moved to the doomsday bunker at Mount Weather last night. And here you can see a zoomed in screenshot of the flight tracker last night right over Mount Weather. You can see all of these Blackhawks landing at the M1 helipad at Mount Weather. Okay, I don't know what M1 means. If anybody knows what that stands for, it's not Marine 1, because there's also like a M4 and a M7. So I don't know what M1 would mean, but they all landed at the M1 helipad last night. And this afternoon, we have U.S. nuclear forces on high alert again. We had 3 unusually long nuclear codes transmitted, also known as emergency action messages. They were 75 characters long. And we currently have a nuclear war command and control plane in the Gulf of America. This plane is responsible for communicating with our submerged nuclear-armed submarines. We also have 2 B-52 nuclear bombers airborne and a B-1 strategic bomber, as well as a Cobra Ball missile detecting plane airborne as well. And last night we had a U.S. sub-hunter plane operating just south of Puerto Rico in the southern Caribbean, and then we also had a sub-hunter off the coast of Florida late last night at like 2 a.m. Eastern Time, which is extremely unusual for a sub-hunter to be active in the middle of the night or early morning off the coast of Florida. So potentially something was off the coast of Florida last night, maybe a Russian sub. And the U.S. Navy officially confirmed that they tested Trident missiles over the last few days. Here's their website. It says successful Trident II D5 life extension launches demonstrate continued readiness of nation's sea-based deterrent. The U.S. Navy Strategic Systems Programs conducted 4 scheduled missile test flights of unarmed Trident II D5 missiles from an Ohio-class ballistic missile submarine off the east coast of Florida from September 17th through September 21st. One launch test event Sunday evening lit up the sky and was visible from Puerto Rico, and we were covering that live. Okay, people were saying it was old footage or that it was fake news, okay? But here's some pictures that the U.S. Navy included. So they tested 4 Trident missiles, guys, off the east coast of Florida, and they flew all the way to the South Atlantic off the coast of Africa. So clearly a message to Venezuela, clearly a message to Putin, okay? Now I'm going to update you guys on the situation with Putin and Russia. Trump had some very strong statements today, basically doing a complete 180 on Russia, saying that Ukraine can get back their 1991 borders, okay? And basically saying that Russia is a paper tiger. I'm going to get into that in just a few minutes here. He said this on the sidelines of the UN, and he also made a big post on his social media account on Truth Social. And I'm going to go into more details later on tonight in the live stream right around 11 p.m. Eastern Time. But NATO has now officially released a statement about the Russian airspace violations in Estonia and Poland. So for those of you guys who are not aware, Russia sent 3 armed Russian fighter jets, MiG-31s, into Estonia's airspace a few days ago. And this was just about a week and a half after Russia sent 2 or 3 dozen drones into Poland. So let me read to you what they wrote here in this official statement. Russia should be in no doubt. NATO and allies will employ, in accordance with international law, all necessary military and non-military tools to defend ourselves and deter all threats from all directions. We will continue to respond in the manner, timing, and domain of our choosing. Our commitment to Article 5 is ironclad. Wow. Okay, very, very strong words there from NATO. And this update was sponsored by EMP Shield. Guys, EMP Shield has created a special discount just for you, the listeners of the NYPrepper channel. If you go to empshield.com and use the promo code NYPrepper, you can get 15% off your entire order. And why do you need an EMP shield? Well, this is a special device to protect your vehicle, your RV, your solar generators, your radios from an electromagnetic pulse, which could be caused by a solar flare or potentially a rogue country like North Korea detonating an electromagnetic pulse weapon over the United States that's mounted onto a satellite. So protect your vehicles, protect your RV, protect your radios, protect your generators with an EMP shield. Use my promo code NYPrepper to get 15% off. Installation is super simple. This is a veteran-owned business, 100% American-made, and the EMP shields have been tested by the military, okay? And free shipping is included to the entire continental United States. And the link and the promo code are in the description below this video. And Zelensky said today after his meeting with Trump that he had a very good meeting, probably the most substantive one so far. Trump said today that the Russian economy is terrible right now. It is crashing. Ukraine is doing a very good job of stopping this very large army. He also said Russia does not look so distinguished. This was supposed to be quick for them. It looks like it is not going to end for a long time. He also said we have great respect for the fight Ukraine is putting up. It is pretty amazing. Wow. And Trump also said that his relationship with Putin didn't mean anything, unfortunately. He also said Ukraine, which has great spirit and only getting better, Ukraine should be able to take back their country in its original form, and who knows, maybe even go further than that. Wow. He also said Putin and Russia are in big economic trouble, and this is the time for Ukraine to act. And Zelensky said, I am very grateful to Trump. I cannot share the details right now, but Trump possesses very important information regarding the situation at the front. Wow. Okay, so complete 180. Trump also called Russia a paper tiger on Truth Social. Okay, so really scathing words from Trump about Russia. Complete 180, basically saying that Ukraine can take back all of the land that Russia took, that now is the time for Ukraine to move because Russia is in big economic trouble. Trump also said that Russia killed 7,000 people a week for nothing. Very sad situation. Russia should have stopped that war. It has been going for 3.5 years. They have not gotten so far. Wow. So really strong words there. And Zelensky said, Trump agreed with me that Putin will not wait for the ending of war in Ukraine. Putin will try to find weak places in Europe and NATO countries. He will try to do it. He also said that Trump will give Ukraine security guarantees after the war ends. He also said that Trump is a game changer. He said, I think he is more close to Ukraine situation now. So he's basically saying he's on Ukraine's side now. And at Trump's UN speech, he said that climate change is the greatest con job ever perpetrated on the world. Wow. Very strong words there from Trump, and much needed. I totally agree with him on that. And Estonia signaled that it is open to hosting British F-35s capable of carrying nuclear weapons, according to the Estonian Defense Minister Hanno Pevkur. So that is huge news. We know that Great Britain has already moved France moved nuclear-capable fighter jets to Poland. Now Estonia wants British nuclear-capable fighter jets. And we're hearing that in Poland, in the event of a war, the Polish army will call upon every adult Pole it needs, regardless of where they live and how long they have been staying there. This is permitted by the amended Act on National Defense. So Poland is getting ready for war, total war with Russia, basically. And 3 vessels linked to Russia are now suspected of launching drones towards the Copenhagen airport last night, according to Danish state channel TV2. The sanctioned Russian cargo ship Astral 1, the tanker Pushra, and the Norwegian cargo ship Oslo Carrier 3. Okay, apparently the Oslo Carrier 3 was just 7 kilometers from Copenhagen when the drones were in the air, and the ship's crew is Russian, and the owner has offices in Kaliningrad. Wow. And in case you guys are not aware, last night or yesterday evening, in Copenhagen, the airport there was closed because between 2 to 4 large drones were flying over the airport in Copenhagen. Also, there were reports of drones flying over a military airfield in Norway outside of Oslo. And there were also drones flying around the Oslo airport in Norway as well. Okay, so a very strange situation last night with these drones. And we're hearing reports that Germany's armed forces are planning on how to treat a potential 1,000 wounded soldiers per day should a large-scale conflict between NATO and Russia break out. Okay, so Germany is preparing for massive numbers of casualties. A couple of months ago, France put out a memo to all hospitals in France to be prepared for up to 30,000 or something like that casualties a week in the beginning stages of a war. We know that Germany has put out a memo to all of their hospitals to be prepared. So this is absolutely huge news. Europe is continuing to prepare for war with Russia. And the Polish foreign minister said yesterday at the UN General Assembly that Poland will shoot down any Russian missiles or aircraft. Wow. And the British Foreign Secretary Yvette Cooper said, "If we have to confront aircraft flying in NATO airspace without permission, we will do so. I say to Putin, your reckless actions risk a direct armed confrontation between NATO and Russia. Ours is a defensive alliance, but have no illusions." Wow. So strong words from the Polish foreign minister and the British foreign secretary towards Russia about these fighter jets and objects, drones and stuff flying into NATO. And the president of Turkey, Erdogan, was interviewed by Fox News' Bret Baier yesterday, and Erdogan said he doesn't think Europe will sustain its economic aid to Ukraine forever. He said that he doesn't believe that the war in Ukraine will end soon. And Latvia intends to restore the swamps on its eastern border as a natural protective barrier, according to the country's Ministry of Defense. The plan calls for the restoration of swamps, reservoirs, and forests in peat production areas. And Iran and Russia will sign a deal this week to build 8 new nuclear power plants in Iran, 4 reactors at Bushehr, and 4 at other sites. So guys, Russia is actively helping Iran with their nuclear program, okay? Don't be surprised if we find out at some point in the future that Russia was giving Iran nuclear scientists and nuclear materials and even missiles, okay? We may never find that out, but I'm sure they are. And Trump officially designated Antifa as a terrorist organization yesterday by executive order. And Iran canceled its annual military parade for the first time due to security concerns. And France says they're going to open an embassy in Gaza once Hamas releases all of the hostages. So far we have Portugal, France, the UK, and Australia recognizing a Palestinian state, which is absolutely huge. And that could push Netanyahu into a corner and force Netanyahu to annex Gaza and the West Bank. And what you're looking at here is a picture coming out of the Gotland Island, which belongs to Sweden, and it's in the middle of the Baltic Sea. Here we have a large amount of Polish military vehicles arriving at the Gotland Island, and there's a Polish soldier of some kind. But that's the latest breaking news that I have. I will be back later on tonight with a live update and live monitoring. We have a lot of things going on, so join me later tonight, probably around 11 p.m. Eastern Time, maybe sooner. And until the next time, take care, God bless, and don't forget the 3 Ps. Prepare, practice, and persevere. And before I continue with the breaking news, I wanted to mention the sponsor for this update, which is NYPrepper Supply. Guys, NYPrepper Supply is doing a massive sale on their 3-month emergency food supply. And to get the deal, you got to use my link. It's in the description below this video. It's preparewithNYPrepper.com. So they're selling their 3-month emergency food kit at 30% off. Plus, they're going to throw in an additional month of food. So that's 4 months of food. And the normal price would be $944, and they're selling it at just under $700 for 4 months of food. And this food has a 25-year shelf life, and it's all packed into rugged, watertight buckets that don't take up a lot of space in your home. And the food is obviously nutritious, which is very important for surviving any kind of SHTF situation. You can also use this food for camping and traveling. But use the link preparewithNYPrepper.com to get a free month of emergency food with your 3-month emergency food kit from NYPrepper Supply, all at 30% off, just $700 for 4 months of food. So use the link preparewithNYPrepper.com to get the deal, and the link is in the description below this video.